Hey guys, I hope you're doing well and they're having a great day so far. My name's Elizabeth and I'm here to share information, tips, and ideas on how to improve yourself as a person and how to live a happier and healthier life. Today, I'm going to talk about things that I do that help my son be healthy and happy. All right, so the first thing that I'm doing is reading to him. Readers become leaders. Readers become achievers. Reading is where the power is. So you see in schools and education systems, they focus on reading. And if you do not learn how to read by a certain age, typically it's third age, there's actually this achievement gap. There's a lot of research on the achievement gap. And students do not do as well if they haven't built these early literacy and language skills by a certain time. And so reading is important. Of course, it's okay if they're behind. I know my son, he wasn't as interested in books at first and he kind of like, no, but he's grown over time really interested in them. And so I don't force it, but I definitely will pull open a book or I try to make it engaging or find books that he actually enjoys. When they're younger too, there's specific books that you can get, like the textures, the board books, or even when they're babies, the black and white books. Sometimes they like with the flaps or where they can be more interactive or helping them turn the pages, helping you turn the pages, etc. Or they're really into trucks, so get truck books. But reading is really, really important and it's a great door into literacy. And also, as I talk about on this channel, I love to learn, and reading and learning and taking in information is what's helped me change my life and is what is helping me change my life. And so giving them that gift is not only going to help them academically and socially and just do really well and have that educational foundation, but it's going to help them learn a skill that can help them for the rest of their life. Another thing that I do that is backed by science is talking to your kids about everything and talking to them just as you would another adult. So a lot of times it can be tempting to try to talk baby talk, oh, goo, goo, gut. But no, don't do that. So talking to them like an adult, of course, they're still a kid and you can talk a tiny bit differently, if you know what I mean. But you're going to talk in your regular vocabulary. And the more that you have a rich and enriched vocabulary, your kids are going to pick up on that. I used to babysit 3 boys and their mom was highly intelligent and had an excellent vocabulary, and so did their dad. And these kids, their vocabulary exploded, and they would say certain words and were so little that it was hard to understand some of them for me, but like saying excavator. And I know that's common, and now that I'm a mom, I know that they talk about excavators and things, but some of these words, and as they've gotten older, it's so impressive to me, the words that they have and just their thoughts. And it helps kids be more creative. It helps kids to be able to solve more problems and to think when they know more language. And so reading can help with that, just like I talked about, but talking to them and having other people talk to them and listening to your podcasts or listening to these things. So be aware of that. The information and the words that they hear or the shows that they're watching or the people that they're around, that's going to be going into their head. And that's the language that they're going to be learning. So I always say too, to work on yourself but don't be so hard on yourself, but work on yourself. What can you learn? And be aware of that. Talk in complete sentences and help your kids, understand things a little bit better by talking to them about it and getting real about it and not being afraid of just minimizing things or trying to dumb it down for them. Actually don't. Call them to step higher and actually give them the full picture there, and they'll eventually make those connections. It'll really help them with their literacy skills and with their intellect. Another thing that I've done is just to learn about my son. So what is he interested in? Of course, interests change, and also just how his temperament is, how he is. Of course, at different developmental milestones, they might be a little different, or they might be cutting teeth and they might be a little more sad or cranky or whatever. But get to know your kids, get to know how they act, get to know what they like, get to know what they dislike, and then honor that or encourage the things that they do like. If they're interested in a certain topic, definitely explore more of those things. If they like trains, buy a train, read a train book, sing train songs, get a train whistle, go visit a local caboose or go for a train ride or a train expo. So there's all these little things that you can do, but it's really important to get to know your kids. It will help them have a healthier and happier life because they have that foundational relationship with you, and a really healthy attachment with you. Number 4, I give him opportunities. So one of the best things you can do as a parent is to just love them and give them a healthy environment and home, but it's also to give them opportunities to learn, opportunities to play with other kids, opportunities to try new things, opportunities to eat well, to get good rest. Just give them the chance to explore the world and themselves. And I think it's such a gift. So I know my mom was really awesome about that and would always give us the opportunities to try new things and to go different places. And maybe you can't go all these places, but even going to the playground, like we love playground, go to the library, go to these free places, explore your town, try to do even free things, go for a nature walk, go to the pond, do these things and explore the world together. It's such a gift. Number 5, this is really important to me, is surrounding your child with good people and loving people and people that actually care about them. So this can be a sensitive topic. There's a lot of bad people out in the world and it can be scary, but surrounding your kids with people who love them, who want to nurture them and care for them is essential. So being present, being there in your life, in their life, really get to know the people that your child is spending time with. If they're older, having them over at your house, that's a great thing to do. But just really be careful about who your child is spending time with. This can be something too when they get older with their friends. What type of people are they around? Because it's influencing your child. And of course, they can have their own autonomy and they have their own foundation, but the people in their lives really influence them. So don't freak out if they're not with the best person at the moment, but do be aware and see what you can do to maybe help make some changes. Another one is to let them explore. So giving them opportunities, but also to explore the world. So getting outside is an amazing thing for kids. Also giving them opportunities to try different things. I know we did a little science experiment or a few science experiments the other day. It was super fun. Or my mom took my son to an animal farm today and he had a blast. So just exploring the world, exploring himself, exploring different concepts, like learning about their numbers. My son's young, so learning about these concepts and things and just letting them explore and not be like, you have to know your numbers. You have to know your alphabets by 2 years old. You have to know. That can be too much pressure, but just exposing them to things will be helpful. Create a safe space. So for your kids, the home that you live in, the environment that you're in, it doesn't have to be the fanciest in the world. It doesn't have to be, but it needs to be safe. It needs a positive parent, a healthy parent, someone who's taking care of themselves, having a good situation, having a clean situation, that type of thing. The environment that your kids are in is really going to make a difference. So maybe you can't afford the nicest neighborhood. If you can, that's awesome. And that's going to affect your kids. So always try to find the best place that you can. But if you can't control that, you can always control yourself in your own home. So making sure that environment is safe, it's healthy, it's nurturing, and that will make a huge difference. All right, this is just specific to my son, and for anybody, it's feeding them a healthy diet. For me, that means a plant-based diet, predominantly whole food plant-based diet. And it's normal foods. Like some of you might be freaked out by that. But it's oatmeal for breakfast, right? Having some fruit, having peanut butter sandwich, but it's just the nut butter. It's not all the extra stuff in it. On Ezekiel bread, which has beans and lentils and whole grains in it, and having fruit and veggies, those types of things. And he feels better. Having smoothies, having applesauce, fruit, vegetables, beans, burritos, whatever. That has been such a fun thing for me, is to try to feed him good foods. And it can really affect your kids with their behavior, with also their temperament, with how they're acting, if they're acting cranky, etc. Of course, it's not like my son is perfect and that he just is a little angel all the time. But I know that if I'm feeding him well, his brain's going to be developing well, his body is, and it's also going to help him regulate himself more if his blood sugar levels and all that stuff is stable. So definitely look into that. Another thing I'm super committed to is helping him learn about himself. So I'm learning about him, but I want him to learn about himself and about the world. So actually talking about the things that are going on. Of course, this will change as he ages. I'm also really real about things like talking specifically about your body parts, and not just like nicknaming things, and actually giving the names to himself and the things around in the world. I think it's really important to do that and give kids more credit. Like, they know those things, and it will help them to build more connections and to be more successful later on. A big one that we focus on as well is socialization. So it's not the only thing we focus on, and it's not like our number one thing, but it can really help your child thrive. And so whether that's going to a playground and getting around other kids, if it's putting them in daycare or having play dates, whatever that means, or signing them up for a sport or something, getting that time in with their peers is essential. And their peers, that's going to be one of the most influential, if not the most influential group in people for them. So getting them exposed to those peer relationships and starting to work on how to communicate, how to share, all those things can really be beneficial. And lastly, teaching him skills. So that is not my main concern, but of course we need skills. He needed to learn how to walk. He needs to learn how to talk. He needs to learn how to manage his emotions. Of course, eventually he'll learn how to count, and he knows his colors or shapes or whatever. But so teaching skills is a really fun part of parenting, and it's a very important part of parenting. Don't get too caught up in it. It doesn't matter. You know, everyone learns how to walk eventually, typically. So don't stress yourself out over it, but try to teach him those skills. I hope this video was helpful for you. Of course, this is just my own point of view. I have done research, I have learned, but this is just what works for me and some things that I'm doing. Let me know in the comments below what you do and what has helped you, so that we can all take that as advice as well. Feel free to subscribe and like for more. I will be sharing tips and ideas on how to grow yourself as a person, but also how to live a happier and healthier life and to help yourself and your kids. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.